Hey, what is up, guys, and happy Halloween to all of you. We have got some crazy stuff for you guys today, the first of which is probably, and I know I say this almost every time, one of the most anomalous pieces of space shuttle footage I have ever seen. So what you're going to see here is an astronaut sitting just inside the hatch on the space shuttle, the airlock, and he's just right on the outside edge of the hatch, touching space. And I want you to note all of the anomalous UFO activity that is going on outside of the shuttle, where you're going to see objects moving in all directions, changing speeds, changing directions. It's just crazy. So check this out, and then we will analyze the footage.
Okay, Mike, your party's on the line. We're going to go ahead and privatize too, and then you'll be good to go.
This is a look through the helmet cameras of EV-1, Steve Swanson, for this spacewalk. As you can see, he remains in the crew lock, but looking out of the hatch. The spacewalk began officially at 11:51 a.m. Central Time, marking the time that they activated the batteries on their spacesuits. They're working through those procedures before they begin translating to the first work site. And Steve Swanson working on a display on his spacesuit.
Go ahead. Yeah, Tony, we're going to need you to run procedure 2.105, display loss during power transfer. How copy?
I copy, it's in work. Hey, Swanee?
Yes.
Double check your EMU is power to bat.
It is power to bat.
Okay, Joe, I think this is just a check, but it might be an action. Switch the power for EV1 to off.
That's verified off.
Check the power for EV1, EMU LED is off.
And the LED's out.
Okay, Swanee, these actions are going to take your fan and your comm, so don't do those until I've read far enough ahead so where you can get back.
Understood.
Note, affected EMU will be without fan and comm after steps 4 and 5. Step 5 to 7.1 should be read together before performing step 4. Warning, fan will be off, during which time the CO2 buildup is a concern, so stay cool.
Got it.
Okay, so step 4 would be, when I'm ready, switch the fan off. Expect a fan switch off tones in 7 seconds.
Alright, so this is from the STS-119 mission. During one of the EVAs, it was a space shuttle mission that occurred in March of 2009. And as you just saw, we have the astronaut sitting on the edge of the hatch, about to head out into space, and we begin to see these objects, very fast moving, shooting by in the distance. And we've seen these things many times before. And as you guys probably saw, a lot of these objects at times changed position, velocity, and speed. So we're just going to go through some of the best of these sightings here. And as you're watching this, you'll notice that at times we will see two UFOs that seem to be almost flying together in unison. One of the most anomalous parts of this video is where we see two UFOs fly into frame and completely stop and meet up with each other. We're playing you that clip here, where we first have an object flying in from the right side and then comes to a complete stop. Then, just as the object stops, we see another object jetting into the frame from the top of the screen, which flies down, curves back up, and stops as well. We are playing you the footage over and over. We're playing it in slow motion here. And just watch this and tell me if you've ever seen ice crystals or dust particles or whatever NASA would try to have us believe. And you know what? Every time we see UFO activity during these spacewalks or from the cameras on the International Space Station, they always say it's the same old stuff. It's light reflecting off of Venus, it's dust particles, or it's just debris. Well, my friend, Debris does not fly around of its own volition, change speed, change directions, come to a complete stop, and then meet up with another piece of debris which also flies in from a separate direction, also coming to a complete stop. This is amazing, and there is no explanation that NASA can give us for this. I mean, look at it. Look at these things fly in and meet with one another, and then both vanish at the same time. Just explosive footage and proof that there's a lot of activity happening above our planet, out in space. We have shown it on this channel countless times. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go back through our old videos if you're new to the channel. Some of the best UFO footage we have comes from the ISS and STS missions. So we're letting the footage play some more. Here we see another object jet by and curve at the bottom of the screen. We'll play that over. There it goes. And then we have another object flying in from an opposite direction. That almost looks like the object changed directions. Let's play that over again. All right, here we see the object coming into frame from the bottom of the screen. We see it flying up, and then we see what looks like it's making a hard left-hand turn toward the top of the screen and jetting off to the left. And then we have another object that comes out of nowhere. After this thing cuts to the left, we see another object appear and move to the right. And the objects just keep appearing, changing directions, curving around, stopping. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. And another thing I want you guys to notice is that during all of this UFO activity, the astronaut is having issues with his video camera, his helmet cam. And this is very interesting also, because I have found in this research, and in a lot of cases, we have noticed that when someone is filming, a lot of times people will experience malfunctions in their video cameras, whether it be static or, the frame jumping around, going black, only to go back to normal once the UFOs exit or disappear. And you can hear when you're watching this video, they're trying to get this camera fixed. They're going through steps and stages to try to troubleshoot what's going wrong with the camera, and they can't figure it out. We have a lot of testimony from people and footage where the cameras have shut off or have gotten so staticky when some of these craft have appeared. And not only that, we have testimony from abductees who have stated that just before they were abducted, whether it be in their home or in their car, their televisions would start to get very staticky, or their radio would start to get staticky before completely going out, and then they would lose time and then wake up hours later or even days later. But one of the main common points to all of these abductions is that they notice their electronics going haywire just before their encounters. And so it's very suspicious that as we're seeing all these objects, I mean, look, these are obviously objects. We see them moving by from directions that aren't even in the direction of the space shuttle. And just to see those two UFOs fly in from different directions and then stop in unison, I mean, that's a done deal. And I can only think what this astronaut was thinking, seeing these things pass by. Now, the last clip I want to show you guys, if you didn't see it, is when we can see the Earth below, which you're seeing here, and I want you guys to notice this object fly in from the top of the screen, slightly curves, and then heads down toward the Earth. And you'll actually see a couple of objects heading near Earth in this. So let's go ahead and play it in slow motion. Look at that. I mean, this is just phenomenal footage. But anyway, this is from STS-119, one of the best pieces of UFO footage from the space shuttle missions I have ever seen. Did that not just blow your mind? And were these UFOs causing this video camera to malfunction? Because it's obvious they had no idea what was causing it. Let me know what you guys think. We have some more very anomalous footage and sightings to go into today. The next one, something very strange. I was emailed by a viewer who was watching a webcam of the Popocatépetl volcano. which is in Mexico. We have featured this webcam footage in past videos. There's been a lot of UFO activity that has happened at this particular volcano. And so she sent me this picture here. This is just before dawn here. And I want you to take your attention to this strange light formation over here to the left of the mouth of the volcano. We'll go ahead and zoom in here. All right, so look at this here. We have this circular light, which looks like it's attached to some sort of elongated structure. We have another light in the center of it, sort of this cigar-shaped light, or it possibly is a structure, because I believe we are seeing heat signatures here. So obviously right off the bat after I saw this footage I wanted to go in and I wanted to watch the frame-by-frame analysis where this object appears, see what it does. And that's when I read further in the email from the viewer who said, well, you can go and try to look at it, but it seems that they have edited it out. You cannot go back and review this specific time period. So I said, that was strange. So I head over to the webcam, you're seeing that here, and sure enough, when you go to review the footage starts at 6 a.m., and you're seeing that here. And when you try to rewind, we're going to go frame by frame backwards here, because we need to get to 5:45 a.m. And when you do that, this is what you get. Nothing but blank screens. Literally, right as you hit the 5-hour 55 mark. Nothing but white screens, and it stays that way. And again, we'll hit the play button here, and you'll see it goes through all of these blank, missing frames until it hits about the 6-hour mark right on the dot, and then there we have the volcano. So yes, it's extremely strange. The webcam footage of this volcano from just 15 minutes after this UFO appears is there. It's on the website. You can watch it. But the moment you try to go to that 15 minutes before 6 a.m., you get nothing but blank screens, missing frames. And obviously we have the picture here, so we know those frames were up earlier. And this just happened today on the 31st, this morning. So why are the frames missing? What was this object? And furthermore, why are the frames missing exactly at the timestamp when this object shows up? I mean, exactly. Not more than 10 or 15 minutes after, the frames reappear. And why can't we review the footage of when this UFO appeared? Very, very strange. I will put the link to this webcam down below. You can see it for yourself. It's not there. It's been edited out. The frames are missing. So we could be having some censorship here. Very strange. And big thanks to the viewer who sent this in. Now, speaking of Halloween, another viewer alerted me to some strangeness happening today, and they said head over to Google and tell me what you see. So I did. Here we are. We're on my Twitter here. Who's that good-looking guy? So we head over to google.com, and this is what we see. Do you guys notice anything? Well, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer. We have what looks like a background image with a cat and some ghosts. And then in the center here, we see some houses with the sky and stars above, and then a giant black, what looks like a giant TR-3B. I mean, it's identical to a TR-3B, and it even has the 3 lights on each corner, and you're seeing lights glowing around it, rotating around it. Here's a comparison image. If you don't know what the TR-3B is, it's purported to be a secret government black project anti-gravity aircraft that was created from recovered alien technology. It also goes by the name the Black Manta. And this object has been seen all over the world. We've posted footage on this channel of the object. There's a lot of different renditions of what this object looks like. There's some different variations, but we have seen them. And so it's very strange here, this Google page. And you notice when you put your mouse over it, it's actually a play button. So you click play, and this is what you get. It starts playing this stupid little Halloween animation thing. But still, does this not look extremely just off to you guys? Let's go ahead and go back to it. It's like subliminal messaging. Because, yeah, it's a play button, but first of all, the play button is not even in the middle of the screen, or the middle of the rectangle, as you would think they would want to put the play button. And not only that, but they've put this black play button in the sky above these houses here. Add to that, they've put the light on each corner, which is the same thing we see on the TR-3B, and it's just, very strange. It's like a secret message within a message. Or it's just Google trying to mess with us, who knows. But yeah, it's weird. So I will put the link to Google down in the video. I'm kidding. You guys know how to get to Google. So one last thing before we end today's video. A new report, very strange report, has come out where scientists are arguing into the ways that life may spawn across the solar system. And they've argued that dumping dead bodies may be the most likely chance of organic life in space. So, the article here from the Daily Star is entitled, "Dumping Dead Astronauts in Space Could Create Life in Our Solar System." Goes on to reference a scientist and microbial expert by the name of Gary King, who explained that, quote, "a corpse could deliver microbes to a planet." He further said that we've pulled microbes out of permafrost, and there we're talking about organisms surviving around 1 million years in suspended animation. He goes on to say that if they send out, a dead body, especially if the trip is somewhere close to, say, planet Mars, the bacterial spores in the human body will survive for sure. He said, but it won't be a case of ejecting astronauts in their coffin suits. He said that a lone body floating would probably be yanked in by a planet's gravity and obliterated as it enters the atmosphere. So what he's proposing is that you would take a spacecraft and then fill it with multiple dead astronauts. That way, when it makes entry onto the planet, we have hope of planting the seed. He goes on to say that when you talk about 1 million plus years with little radiation shielding, then I'd say we're talking about a very limited possibility of microbial survival. But I won't say impossible. And that really, you only need one single microbe on the human body to survive the trip. The article also goes on to mention the proposed one-way space trip to Mars that was brought about by the company SpaceX, where they were signing up all of these people who wanted to go to Mars, one-way trip, never coming home again, and, starting a colony, and eventually they would die on the red planet, leaving their microbes and possibly spawning life. And it's a perfect story to report on for Halloween. Nothing like shooting a bunch of dead bodies out into space. And you know what? That may be true. That may be the way that life on Earth was spawned. It is very possible that the dinosaurs or humans were actually a bunch of cells on a dead body, frozen inside of a comet from, who knows where, from another planet, from another solar system, from another galaxy, that after millions of years made their way to this barren, empty planet, crashed down to the surface, and a couple million years later, we have dinosaurs and we have humans. So, dinosaurs may have come from one planet, humans from another. Who knows? It's all very interesting and a very possible way that life started and could be started on other planets. So, very interesting. We'll definitely follow up on this if we hear any more details. Let me know what you guys think about everything we've shown you today. Before I forget, I have a new film recommendation for you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but there was a new trailer that just came out, and the movie is called Life, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and it's about these people who are up on the International Space Station when they, oddly enough, find signs of life. And that's when scary things start to happen. You're seeing some screenshots from that movie here. And, I will go ahead and put the link to this down in the video description. You guys can go ahead and check it out. If you're looking for the results to the microphone drawing, do not worry. We are going to be holding the drawing. I was going to do it the other night. However, we've still got emails coming in from people who want to enter the drawing. So I'll let that run for another day or so, and then we will definitely hold the drawing. So everyone have a safe Halloween, go trick-or-treating, eat some candy. I'm going to be out here tonight walking my little boy around, and just be wary of these creepy clowns that have been out here, all right? So we'll see you back soon, and stay safe.